What's up YouTube, this is Tien bringing you a new video in the Map Sustain series. Today I'm going to be talking over gameplay from a Twitch chat viewer of mine. His name is Nano, and he filmed himself doing 9 maps and only getting 7 back, so not sustaining. And I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the things he did right, some of the things he did wrong, and then talk about an in general concept when it comes to map sustain called playing around your sextants. But first, let's just get into his specific gameplay and some things I noticed while he was playing. I think overall he does a lot of good things, which is he has his Atlas set up well. He's trying to do shaped waste pools. I know he's not doing waste pool right now, he's doing terrace. But has his Atlas set up for waste pool. And you can see there that he was inside of a Xena inside of the waste pool. No 14s on his Atlas, no 15s on his Atlas. The only one he has is shaped waste pool, which means any 14 or 15 will get downgraded into a shaped waste pool. That's a great way to have your Atlas set up, especially if you only want to do shaped waste pool, which is your T14 map there. And has his bonus, pretty high, so he can, see a lot of upgraded maps. In terms of rolling the maps, did a really good job of Chisel, Alks, Vals. He runs Parandus, which I don't think is the best for sustain. I think Harbinger actually is in this current patch, but at least he's using a Xana map mod, which is overall pretty good. It's worth noting that Harbinger, Abyss, and Breach can all drop maps. Parandus cannot unless you get the cache, which gives you a map, and I've been running Parandus all league, and I've only gotten it maybe once or twice, so it's pretty rare. Anyways, on to some things he did wrong. He runs unID'd maps without the unID'd sextant, which I think is a mistake. You want to save those unID'd maps for when you have the unID'd sextant, and I'll get into this a little bit more when it comes to playing around your sextants. The second thing is really not doing Xenas. I know he just came out of a Xena at the beginning of this video, but he rolls over the Xena sextant in I think his maps 6 through 9 or 7 through 9, and that's a sextant you want to keep. You really want to use Xana if your goal is to sustain maps. It's basically a free map. The way you can think about it, it's like a 100% quant and 100% pack size, because it's basically it's a free map which can drop maps of your tier on your Atlas. One thing you have to kind of look out for is a change they made this patch is if they give you a 14 or a 15 that would affect your Atlas strategy, you need to make sure you don't kill the boss because it will count as completion and, mess up your Atlas strategy. You might have to use the cartographer seals to then undo the map. That would be a mess, so you don't want to do that. Speaking of killing the boss, he does not kill the boss in any of his shaped waste pools, which is fine. Some people, if you are over sustaining maps, then it's fine to not kill the boss. But, it is another monster, and it's a monster that actually has something close to 25% chance to drop a map. So, you want to kill those unique mobs, especially the boss, if again, your goal is sustain. Those are just a couple things you could be doing to get some more maps out of your... I think if you did the Xanas, if you killed the boss every time, I bet you would get close to 9 maps back, or potentially even more. In terms of the things he did right, again, Chisel, Alks, full sextants, Shaper, Elder, Ping Pong for only 6 out of the 9 maps. Waste Pool is in kind of a tough location. Basically, Shaper cannot attack the map from multiple directions. So, when you lose influence on that map, it can be tough to try and get influence back on there by running a map that's, outside of the influence. So that's basically it for your gameplay. Overall, I think, you picked a good build. The map is kind of tiny in terms of sustain, like the Belfry map from episode 1. It's just tough to sustain shaped waste pools, but overall, I think, as long as you keep doing what you're doing, variance will kind of kick in and you'll end up getting more maps. So the overall concept that I wanted to elaborate on was playing around your sextants. Obviously, I mentioned the unID'd sextant already, but there are other sextants in which you could play around. There's generically good sextants, like ones that add additional monsters to the map, and then ones like hunted traders or unique monsters drop corrupted items, where you want to save certain types of maps for those. Hunted traders is one that drops a ton of currency and a ton of maps, and what you want to save your highest quant maps for those. So, any that have like 120 or 130 quant on them, I might save those for when I get hunted traders, which is a somewhat rare sextant. So, you may not see that often. The other one that I mentioned, unique monsters drop corrupted items. You want to save your beyond ones for that. And if Xena offers anything that adds more rare monsters to the map, then you want to use it there as well. If she offers beyond, you could double beyond the map and get a ton of unique monsters, and then in there you can get the corrupted 6 links and corrupted 6 sockets and all that good stuff. I guess the other sextants to kind of play around are the Strongbox Accident. So in episode 1, we had somebody doing Monstrous Treasure on a shaped belfry. The Strongbox Accident, there are 2 prophecies that really mess with your strongboxes, and there's 2 scarabs that can kind of help you with your strongboxes. So the prophecies are Bountiful Traps and Monstrous Treasure, and these have a chance of adding more strongboxes to the map. In addition to having 500% quantity, if by having more strongboxes, it's just multiplication, can give you a ton of loot out of those. The scarabs that you might want to use if you're on a divination card map is to use the more divination cards one. If you're farming like Spider Forest, that's actually how I got my doctor cards this league. And then you can do adding strong boxes with the Strongbox Scarab as well. So that's just another way to force more strong boxes onto your map, try and take advantage of that quantity there. Other sextants to play around, Nemesis monsters drop additional currency items. Again, you want to add Nemesis to the map, or look for, search the word Nemesis in your map tab when you're on the map that you're doing, and it'll pop up all your Nemesis maps. Run your high quant Nemesis or high pack size Nemesis ones to get as much currency as you can, those additional 3 currency items. And then otherwise, if you have just like generically good sextants, so ones that add monsters or converted monsters when killed, stuff like that, you just run your standard maps for that. So don't run your unIDs, don't run your high quant maps. That's why I say start with a big pool of maps, like 20 or so, before you start getting into your shaped atlas strategy. That's kind of it for this video, talking about your sextants. I may put a list of good sextants in the description below, so definitely look out for that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode of Map Sustain Advice, and the next one will be about choosing the right build for your map. So stay tuned for that. See you guys next time. Thanks for stopping by.